So we just got alligator gar fry. They were spawned on the 7th of May by the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service at their hatchery in Tupelo, Mississippi, using wild adults.
The reason we're introducing it is that it's a species that occurred here naturally, and it may actually be extirpated from the state, meaning that populations may no longer exist here.
This is about 14,000 fry in these 4 boxes. This batch we're gonna rear indoors. They'll be getting zooplankton, brine shrimp, and high-tech artificial feed.
They live in swamps, oxbows, sloughs, embayments of large rivers that flood seasonally, and a lot of those habitats are disappearing.
He cooled them down some so that you could ship more to a box. So that one's 62 degrees. Putting 70-degree water on the 60-degree water bags to slowly start warming them up.
It's a large species, making it vulnerable to overfishing. It's long-lived, it's slow to reach maturity. So, females reach maturity at, I've seen cited 11 years. Males mature at 6 years. So, it takes some time for them to grow up to that size where they're capable of reproduction.
So the next step will be getting them used to our water, not just the temperature, but the water quality.
They're a predator, so they're one of the natural checks for a lot of the forage species in that part of the state, where they formerly occurred.
So these have done what they call swim up. They've lost basically all their yolk sac and are ready to feed now. That's why they're up on the surface and swimming free.
The food items include mostly fish, but they also been found to be scavengers to some extent. And unlike some of the other gars we have 3 other species of gar: the long-nosed gar, spotted gar, and short-nosed gar. And they're mostly topwater predators, so they lurch just beneath the surface, and they take fish that swim up in the water column. However, the alligator gar it's been found to feed on more benthic or bottom-dwelling species.
We'll give them zooplankton 4 times a day and have these automatic feeders that are offering a powder of semi-moist salmon starter every 15 minutes.
Like other fish species, these things grow fairly quickly early on. Like in the hatchery, they'll grow really fast up to a certain size.
So we've had them 8 weeks, and some of them are already 14 inches. That's phenomenal growth. It will slow down at some point when they hit about 2 feet.
And I think the record was somewhere around 10 feet and 350 pounds. Mostly what's been reported now is 6 to 7 feet and 150 pounds.
These will have to be size sorted probably every week or 2 because they'll eat each other. Even all the way up to 12 inches, they're eating each other. And they're also kind of territorial, so they can't be very dense. We're tagging 2 groups of fish, some 7 to 9 inch pelt reared fish, and then we're tagging all the minnow reared ones today. We have to separate them with graters, kind of like colanders, to get them away from the minnows. They're putting in a tank with just the gar and a divider so that each fish can be picked up. It's anesthetized, and then the micro wire is injected. It's a machine that's got a needle-like thing and injects a 2.2 millimeter wire and cuts it off. You can detect that wire with a wand like at the airport. So later when the biologists catch an alligator gar anywhere, they can use the wand to determine if it's a hatchery fish. 10 years, 20 years down the road, if fish start showing up without marks, then we know that they are spawning in the wild again.
We're out here standing on a bridge out here in western Kentucky. Cars going by. What in the world's going on?
Well, we're starting our second stocking of the Alligator Gar in western Kentucky.
What we're stocking are fish about this size, and it looks a lot like, you know, a spotted gar. They're going to go directly from this truck into this creek, and they'll go several sites. How many sites are we going to stock today?
Today we're just stocking 2 sites. Now the first time we stocked them, I think it was between 8 and 10, something like that, all along the Ohio and the Mississippi River. So.
Now how long will this stocking program continue?
It's going to be based some on our sampling. We're going to come back to some of these sites and sample them next year and then the following years and see what we see, and we'll probably adjust our plans based on how they're doing. I tell you what, if you're out fishing and you hang one of these suckers when they become an adult, you'll realize why they are such a precious resource.
Right.